Hello dear students, this is the first video of this week, class 8th. And in this video, we will discuss the following topics. We will discuss about the types of operating system. In the previous class, we have discussed about functions of an operating system. We have discussed the following functions: device management, file management, memory management, processor management, etc. Now, in this class, we will discuss the types of operating system. These are the basic types of operating systems. It is divided into 5 types. First one is batch operating system. Second one is time sharing operating system. Third one is distributed operating system. Fourth one is network operating system. And fifth one is real time operating system, which is further divided into 2 types: hard real time and soft real time. Now, first, coming to the introduction to operating system. Software programs. It is the software program that controls the hardware. It controls the hardware of your computer. So it is the most important software for running your computer, which interacts the user with hardware components of the computer. Okay. So definition of operating system can be seen in 4 aspects. First, a group of programs that acts as an intermediary between a user and a computer hardware. Second, it controls and coordinates the use of computer resources among various applications, programs, and users. Third, it acts as a manager. Operating system acts as a manager. And fourth one, it allows the program to communicate with one another. Many programs are there in your computer, and with the help of operating system, the program can be communicated with one another. Now, you can see these are the functions of the operating system: memory management, resource management, security management, file management, input output management, etc. Okay, security management means any unauthorized person cannot access your data. It needs some password to access it. Okay, so security management is also a type of functions of the operating system. It is a function of the operating system. Now, types of operating system. First one is batch operating system. So coming to batch operating system, children, these are the types of operating system. First one is batch operating system. Now, a batch operating system is one in which jobs are bundled together in batches with the necessary instructions. Many jobs are there and all the jobs are bundled together in the form of batches. Okay, suppose 10 jobs are there. 10 jobs are bundled in one batch. Again, another 5 jobs are there. Again, 5 jobs are bundled in another batch. Okay, so here 2 batches are there. There can be more than 2 batches also. Second point, the users of a batch operating system do not interact with the computer directly. The user in this process cannot interact with the computer directly. You can see a number of jobs can be there. Job user 1 is doing one job, another user is doing another job, third job, fourth jobs are there, and all the jobs are sent to the operator. What does the operator do? Operator makes a bundle of jobs. In batch 1, some jobs are bundled together, and in batch 2, again some jobs are bundled together. And now these batches are given to the computer. These batches are given to the operating system for processing. So after processing one batch, it will process another batch. So all the tasks which is bundled in one batch, all the tasks will be done. All the tasks will be performed. Okay. You cannot stop the batches. Once you have given the command to perform all the jobs inside a batch, all the jobs will be performed. You cannot stop it. Okay. And after completing the jobs of batch number 1, the job of batch number 2 will be calculated. Okay. Now, the problems with batch operating systems are as follows. Okay. First one, lack of interaction between the user and the job. Once you have bundled, once you have given a number of jobs to a batch, all the jobs will be performed. all the jobs inside that batch will be performed. So the user cannot interact with the job. So there is a lack of interaction between user and the job. Second, CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input output devices is slower than the CPU. Now, why the CPU is often idle? Suppose in any job, some numbers are required to input through keyboard. Some numbers has to be inputted through keyboard, and the operator or the user is not inputting any number. It means what? The CPU will not do any work unless the number is inputted to the computer. So in this case, CPU becomes idle. Okay. Third, it is difficult to provide the desired priority. If you have made a bundle of jobs in batches, so your job priority, you cannot provide your job priority. It is difficult to provide the desired priority of your jobs. So these are the problems with batch operating system. Do you know first generation computer uses batch operating system? And even today in some mechanical process, some computers are there which are used in industry. They also use a batch operating system. Now, next one, time sharing operating system. In time sharing operating system, it is a technique which enables many people located at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. Maybe a number of users are sitting at different places which are having some work. They are doing some processing, and some jobs are given to the CPU. Okay. Now in this case, processor times which is shared among multiple users simultaneously is termed as time sharing. Means many users are using the same processor of the computer, and the processor's time is shared among many users. Means all the different tasks will share a fraction of second. I will explain it with the help of figure. You can see some examples of the time sharing operating system are Unix, Linux, Windows Server 2000, Windows NT Server, etc. So these are the examples of time sharing operating system, and these are the operating system which are used on server. Now you can see this picture. Suppose in this picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 users are there. Okay. And all the 6 users are having different tasks. They are performing work. They have given instruction to the computer, and the computer is performing all the tasks at the same time. The processor is doing all the work simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time our computer is performing all the works, but each and every work gets a fraction of second. User number one, suppose some processing has been given to the computer, a fraction of second, he will get a fraction of second for his work. User number two, he will also get a fraction of second for his job. User number three, he will also get a fraction of second for this job. And this process takes place at a very fast rate. You cannot distinguish among all the different processes. It seems that all the processes are taking place at the same time. But actually what is happening, each and every process is taking a fraction of second. Okay. So that's why it is known as time sharing operating system. So we will discuss about advantage of time sharing operating system. So it has the following advantages. First, it provides the advantage of quick response. Okay, because all the processes are running at the same time, that's why it provides quick response to different users. Second, it avoids duplication of software because CPU is performing all the tasks at the same time, so it has the data of all the different works. So duplication of software cannot be possible. Third, it reduces CPU idle time. In this case, CPU will not stop. CPU will work continuously. That's why it reduces CPU idle time. So in the next class, we will start with the distributed operating system. I hope you have all have understood about time sharing operating system, children. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you, students.